Chapter 11. The Gospel According to Clowns. The troop bay of the Honk Wagon 2 was a strange sort of sanctuary. The rumbling diesel engine and the rhythmic clatter of the treads provided a constant, mechanical heartbeat that drowned out the eerie silence of the Missouri flatlands. Huddled under the rainbow-striped canvas, Maya, Chloe, and Leo were wrapped in spare blankets, their faces pale in the dim. Up front, Bobo drove, his eyes scanning the road ahead. Tippy sat in the passenger seat, the yellow bat resting between her knees. The adrenaline of the rescue had faded, leaving a heavy quiet in its wake. Maya spoke, her voice raspy but steady. "Thank you. We owe you everything."
"Nonsense,"
Bobo rumbled from the driver's seat, his eyes fixed on the cracked pavement ahead.
"Just doing what's right. Where are you folks from?"
"We're from Minnesota, or what's left of it. My aunt lives in Branson. We heard on a shortwave broadcast that it was safe. A protected zone." She glanced at Leo. "My parents..." Maya swallowed hard. "There was an accident. A garbage truck ran a red light. It was instant. They were gone. He hasn't been himself since. We had to take Leo in. A few months after that, the sky caught fire." Tippy's expression softened with a sadness that went deeper than the paint. "I am so sorry." "Your family?" Maya asked, deflecting. "My folks were circus people," Tippy said, a fond smile touching her lips. "Retired, down in Gibsonton, Florida. That's where we're headed. A long shot, I know." "Chloe's folks were in the city when the bombs fell," Maya added quietly, stroking Chloe's hair. That's when Chloe sat up, her eyes wild and red-rimmed. The mention of her parents was a trigger. The dam had broken. Tears streamed down Chloe's face, carving clean paths through the grime on her cheeks. Chloe's breath hitched, a ragged, tearing sound. Her eyes, wide with terror, darting around the confined space as if the walls were closing in.
"It's our fault,"
she whispered, the words cracking.
"It's all our fault."
"Chloe, no," Maya said softly, reaching for her.
"No, it is our fault,"
she shouted, the words raw and brittle.
"It's a curse."
Bobo, who had been focused on the road, grunted.
"A curse? What are you talking about?"
But Chloe scrambled away, pressing herself against the steel wall.
"Don't you see?"
she shrieked, her voice rising to a hysterical pitch.
"We have sinned. Our marriage is an abomination, an affront to God. They said God wouldn't bless a union like ours, that it would only lead to bad things, and look what happened. Look at your parents. He ended the world. This is our punishment. We sinned and now we have to live in hell."
Her screams echoed in the metal bay as a flowing river of tears ran down her face, raw and full of a terrible, genuine conviction. Leo flinched, curling into a tighter ball. Maya tried to embrace her, but Chloe thrashed wildly.
"It was a mistake. All of it. God is punishing us. Everything we touch turns to ash."
Bobo pulled the half-track to a lurching stop. In one fluid motion, Tippy was out of her seat and in the back in an instant. Chloe didn't even see her coming. Crack! The sound of Tippy's palm connecting with Chloe's cheek was sharp and absolute. Chloe's head snapped to the side, her screaming cut off by a choked gasp. The sudden, shocking silence was deafening. Chloe stared at Tippy, her eyes blinking rapidly. A red handprint bloomed on her pale skin. Then her face crumpled, and her frantic energy dissolved into racking, heartbreaking sobs. Maya rushed forward and gathered her into her arms, holding her tight as she wept. Her parents, Maya explained, her own voice thick with tears. They were very religious. When Chloe came out, they disowned her, told her she was an unholy perversion. When we got married, they sent her a letter. It said God would rain furious vengeance upon us for our sin. Bopo's hands clenched around the wheel. His painted smile became a rigid line. "That's not God," he said, his voice dangerously low. "That's just poison with a holy name slapped on it." Chloe looked up, her face a mess of tears and smudged dirt.
"But it all happened," she cried. "Their car crash. The big flash, it all makes sense. He let us live so we would suffer more."
"Nonsense," Tippy said, kneeling so she was eye level with them. Her voice was firm but kind. "Love isn't a sin. It isn't about gender. It's about finding the one person who makes the world feel right, even when it's all gone wrong. Anyone who tells you otherwise is either a fool or a liar."
"My parents,"
Bopo rumbled, finally turning to face them fully. His expression was grim.
"They hated that I wanted to be a clown. They hated Tippy. They said it was foolish. Said I was a disappointment. They wanted me to be a mechanic, to be someone respectable. They tried to beat the joy out of me. Parents can be cruel, and using God as their excuse is the oldest, rottenest trick in the book."
Chloe shook her head, the deeply ingrained brainwashing fighting back.
"But the Bible says—"
"The Bible is nothing but a book of fairy tales, and a poorly written one at that,"
Bopo cut her off. His voice boomed from the driver's seat.
"You should be who you are,"
Bopo said, turning back to the road.
"And to hell with what anybody else thinks. To hell with what some book of excuses for hatred and cruelty says. You're not responsible for this. All we have now is each other. You still have each other. Is that hell? Or is the one good thing you have left to fight for?"
He twisted to look back at them and took a deep breath to calm himself.
"Listen, the world ended because a bunch of bigwigs in suits got itchy trigger fingers. The garbage truck driver was careless. That ain't got nothing to do with who you love. That's just life being messy. And right now, it's the messiest it's ever been."
Tippy nodded in firm agreement. "He's right. Love is love. It's the one thing they couldn't blow up. It's the reason we're still here, fighting. You love Maya. Maya loves you. That is not a curse, honey. That's the whole point." She looked at her own husband, at his earnest, painted face, and the massive hands gripping the steering wheel. "Marriage isn't for everyone. It's hard work, even when the whole world isn't a pile of rubble. Bopo and I have been married for 2 years. This life," she gestured around at the absurd armored vehicle, "is hard. It's ugly. But knowing he has my back and I have his, that's not a curse. That's the only thing that makes life worth living. It's a blessing. Your love for Maya isn't the reason the world fell apart. It might be the very thing that helps you build a new one." Chloe stared at them, at these impossible, colorful figures who had appeared out of nowhere to save them. She looked at Bopo's ridiculous overalls and Tippy's bright, defiant dress. A single shaky breath escaped her.
But what if they were right?
Her voice was a desperate plea. They weren't, Maya said firmly, cupping Chloe's face in her hands. My love for you is the best part of me. It's the strongest thing I have. It's not a sin.
She's right,
Bopo grunted.
End of story.
For a long moment, nobody spoke. There was only the sound of Chloe's ragged breathing slowly evening out. Maya didn't let go. Bopo and Tippy stood beside them as a bulwark against the ghost of a broken past. The brainwashing wasn't gone, but its foundation had been cracked wide open,